So you might see this kind of animation in games and other gameplay tutorials, or maybe in some cutscenes, but today we are going to make this effect in Blender. So it is basically look like a fluid simulation, but it is not. It is simply some boolean is going on. So we are going to break down this animation effect and going to build it in Blender. In order to achieve this, let's head toward the Blender. So in Blender we need a bottle first to complete our animation. So let me just quickly make a simplest model of a bottle. So I'm just extruding it and then scale it and then extrude it and then scale it and last time extrude it. So here our bottle is ready, a really wide mouth bottle, and we are going to just simply fill the bottom. Here we go. And now in order to add a little bit more geometry to it, I am just going to add a bevel modifier and a solidify modifier, and just move the solidify modifier above the bevel modifier. So here what we go. Okay, so make the bottle a little thick and reduce the amount of bevel and add some segments. Okay, we are good to go. Now we need to uh, make the inner part of it. So I just press LZ to go into the X-ray mode, and for the inner part I am just going to duplicate this thing over here. So I'm just pressing Shift D, S to scale it down, and P to make it a separate object. Okay, so we have this inner part which is going to be our fluid. So let me just quickly remove the bevel modifier and solidify modifier as well, so we don't need this in our fluid, and I'm going to cover this up with this thing. Okay, perfect. So one last thing we are going to do is just going to model a cap for it as well, and just Shift D, the upper circle, scale it a little bit, move it down, press E to extrude it, and E and S to scale it down, and F to fill it. Okay, so our bottle is ready and we are going to make the effect. Okay, for that effect we are going to use a Boolean modifier. So currently we can see, let me just parent the fluid with the bottle so it will move with the bottle. Currently we see like if I move it nothing happen. So let me just add a simple cube over here and move it above my fluid, like how much I want it to influence my fluid. And move it a little bit down. Okay, and just make sure it fills out my bottle. Okay, perfect. So now we need to add a Boolean modifier. So let me quickly add a Boolean modifier to my fluid. So it's a Boolean, and the object that is going to be cut it down is this one. Okay, so currently you might not seeing any effect going on, but let me just make it visually here. So let me just quickly change it to the random, so you can see the inner green part is our fluid. So you can see now our fluid is working fine, but there is a problem in this setup. So let me show you the problem here. Currently when I just move the fluid, move the bottle, the fluid goes with it, but when we are going to leave the cube, so it's certainly gaining the fluid and fill the bottle, which we don't want. We need our fluid volume is consistent. So for that purpose we need to add an empty over here. So just a simple empty, and make sure it is not at the origin point of the bottle. Perfect. Now we need to parent the empty with our bottle, and our cube which is cutting down the fluid. So we need to add a constraint over here, which is basically copy location, and we don't need x and y, so we need only z axis. So let me just quickly, okay, so I will select from here the empty, but you see our cube just moved down, so we need to click this offset button so it will remain at its original position. Now when I move the bottle, you can see what's going on. The cube is moving down with it, which means when I hide it, our fluid will remain same, but you need to change it according to your setup. So let me show you. Just move it a little bit down, and when I move it, so here we see it's working properly fine. But there is something missing, like those splashes or those kind of stuff, so we need to add that as well, those fluid wavy type of effect. So in order to add that, we need to add some physics here. In the physics, we need to add dynamic paint. So this is going to be our dynamic paint, and the cube is going to be our canvas, and from here, from paint, we are going to be change it to the wave. Select our bottle, and now just press dynamic paint, and this is our brush. Okay, so let me see what happened now if I move the bottle. So there might be nothing happening because we don't have enough geometry in our cube. So in order to achieve the result, we need to add some subdivisions to our cube over here. So I am currently adding some subdivisions to our cube, but be careful with this. If it goes too much, then our blender will be crashed. So now if I move, you can see something is going to be happen, but this is little like this kind of stuff is happening over here. So we need to fix this as well. Select my cube and just add some little bit of smooth shading and also some subdivisions as well. I think so this kind of subdivisions are enough for it, and now you can start seeing the effect. But currently what is happening over here is our cube have a lot of geometry, but our fluid have not enough geometry to cut from proper, so it's only have these vertices over here. So in order to fix this, we need to remove the upper part or the face of the fluid, and we need to fill it like this. So I am just press E to extrude and S to scale, and then E to extrude and S to scale, and then press F. So now you can see a little bit more stuff is going on over here. Now if I rotate it, so you can see our waves are going on like this, but still we need a little bit of more geometry over here. So I'm just again selecting my cube and just adding a little bit of subdivision over here. So you can see my system is getting choppy, so now I don't have much ability remain to add more geometry to it, but somehow the effect is going on. Let me just add some keyframes over here like this, and let me show you it after baking this whole thing. So here you can see our fluid is moving very smooth over here. So we are getting so much good result out of it. So let me just pause this over here. Or so I was just want to talk about these kind of problems we can face. So let me break down why this problem happens here. Like it get completely flat over here because our cube is over here, our fluid is just right down here. So the boolean is not working over this part. So we need to make sure we have the correct amount of z location set it over here like this, and then we can achieve the results, or maybe the height of the cube in order to achieve the perfect results. Let this thing bake, and then we will see how everything is going to be working. Okay, so let me just play this, and you can see our fluid is moving very smooth, and it's look like a real fluid is moving into the bottles. So this is how you can achieve that result. So if you want a very close up of a bottle moving, and the liquid may have to react with the gravity, so this is a very good technique in order to achieve that. This is simple technique but very useful. Hope you like this video. If you do really, then subscribe the channel, and let's meet in the next tutorial.